Love is one of the most talked about yet controversial subject matter in our world today, and you agree with me that several people have different opinions about it, and that's one of the major things we are going to be doing today in our 2025 edition of the True Love Wait seminar. True Love Wait is our annual Valentine's program put together by the Great Commission Movement of Nigeria. My name is Jemima Barra, and I'm excited to have my friends with me in the studio. We have Kevin and Joy, with whom we are going to be discussing some really interesting questions about love, sex, and marriage.
2,000 years ago, the most powerful army in the world belonged to the Romans. The Romans were so strong that they conquered almost all of Europe and parts of Asia and Africa. But then they began to grow very rich and a little bit lazy. Life in the army was harsh, and many of the soldiers longed for the comforts of home. They wanted to get married and set up families. The emperor, whose name was Claudius II, grew worried that his army was growing soft. And so he made a law that no soldier was allowed to get married. By that time, many of the Romans were Christians, and one of their leaders was a bishop called Valentine. He believed that if a man and woman fell in love with each other, they should get married. And so he decided to let soldiers get married in his church, even though now it was against the law. The soldiers' weddings were meant to be kept secret. But as you know, all secrets are hard to keep. And soon the word got out. Valentine was arrested and brought before the emperor, who demanded that he stop helping soldiers to marry, and instead that he pray to the gods of Rome. When he refused, the emperor sentenced him to death. While Valentine was in prison, the jailer's daughter used to bring him his food. She was a young woman who was unfortunately blind. She and Valentine used to spend long hours talking to each other, and soon they fell in love. One day, Valentine put his hand through the bars of the cell and touched the lids of her closed eyes. When she opened them again, she could see. It was a miracle. Valentine's execution was set for the 14th of February. On his last night on Earth, he wrote his final message to the girl. He signed his love letter, "From your Valentine." This took place in the year 270, and ever since, lovers have sent each other messages on February the 14th with the same signature. And that's the story.
All right, so we asked some people in a university campus some certain questions, and we also want to hear your opinion about it after we watch it together. The first question was, as sweet as sex is, do you have to marry before you enjoy it? Well, let's find out what some people in the public have to say about that.
Oh, my own belief is that you have to marry before you have sex. But I don't think you have to marry before you enjoy sex, because there are many couples that don't enjoy sex. That's why we have cheating partners.
Yes, I believe that you have to get married before you have sex because it's biblical.
Yes, you have to marry.
My opinion is that I don't think you have to marry before you have sex or stuff like that.
My opinion, um, I think it depends now. Depends. You don't have to marry. You don't have to marry. For me, it's not by force. Because it's something, I don't know how to explain it for you. But you don't have to marry before you enjoy it, because I think it's natural, sha, but you don't have to marry, sha. for me.
I'll have to marry before I enjoy it because that's what I've grown up to know, and then that's my values, and my religion has taught me that, my parents. So basically, that's what I've been taught.
I don't think you have to get married though. It depends. Everybody has his own opinion though. But
What do you feel?
for me, I don't think so. It's natural. It's a natural thing.
My opinion is that everyone that is a Christian, he ought to get married and then go through the right channel to have sex and enjoy it.
The Bible said we should not commit adultery. So why should we? We should have to get married before we do such.
Sex is something we all know to be for marriage people,
Yes.
married people.
Yes.
It's only done in the marital life. And I don't think sex is expected to be done before marriage.
Okay.
And from a religion perspective, it is totally haram for you to have sex before marriage.
Wow, I told you, people really think a lot about this thing called love, sex, and marriage. Okay, let's hear from Kevin and Joy. What do you think about their opinions?
Okay, I think the lady should go first.
All right, let's have you, Joy.
Yeah,
Okay, you know, some of them are right while some of them are not actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I love the views whereby I love it when some of them said you have to wait until you get married before you enjoy sex. Actually, we know that sex is meant for marriage. So why do it in your relationship? Not even in relationship, it's dating. They call it dating and
Right.
all that. It's not making any sense. So I go with those that said love sex should be kept for marriage because I feel you enjoy it better. If you want to enjoy taking mango, allow it to ripe.
Right.
That is just
I like
it.
that analogy.
Allow it to ripe. So that's just it. Don't rush things. That's just it. I feel it should be kept for marriage.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Kevin, what do you think? You're smiling already.
I think there is a fundamental part of the question that we're not looking at. From what we saw on the streets and some of the answers they gave,
Yeah.
you know, like I got two answers from two people, and for me, I think it's something I want us to look at it critically, because some of the guys said, have sex and enjoy sex. So the concept of having sex and enjoying sex may probably mean two different things.
To them.
So I would personally want to enjoy the concept of sex,
Okay.
but not have sex.
Okay.
I don't know if it's ambiguous, but you know, when topics about sex come, I should be able to enjoy it as an unmarried person,
Okay.
not necessarily having sex, but I should enjoy topics that are centered around sex because I think it's needed for my growth. So,
Okay, so
yeah.
it's healthy to have conversations, discussions around sex, but it is not okay to like have sex before marriage. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, for me, it can be enjoyable before marriage.
Okay.
Yeah, so I gave the context of which I said it can be enjoyable before marriage, but having sex before marriage, it's also a no for me.
Okay.
So if it's on that ground, yes, I agree.
Okay. Just to make sure that our audience are very clear, because I didn't even see it in that light when you were talking about it. So for me, it's almost like the same thing, the enjoying and the having. But I like the angle that you talked about it from. So for me, I would really agree with what, of course, what the Bible says, that sex should wait until marriage rather. But some of them were trying to define love. They were trying to equate love with sex. I don't know, but it's just what it is. All right, I think we need to hear from our audience as well. We want to know your opinion. In this place, we listen, we don't judge. So there's going to be a link on your screen where you can feel free to also share your opinion about this. We'd like to hear from you. Just take a brief moment to copy the link that is displaying on your screen right now and share your opinion with us about this very same topic.
future in my daily routine. Blue house and a picket fence, that's the kind of innocence that makes me want to wait until my wedding day. Standing face to face with the love I know is true. I promise him forever from the day we say I do. I got my white boots, my white dress, and baby I ain't getting thirsty. All I need you to bring are love rings, and I know in time I'll be ready. 'Cause I've been waiting, 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 waiting on you in my white boots. Yeah.
Going on 3 years with the love of my life. Everything about it made the waiting worthwhile. It wasn't always easy, but I listened for the truth. So don't give up, true love is gonna find you. You'll be standing face to face with the love you know is true.
I promise him forever from the day we say I do. I got my white boots, my white dress, and baby I ain't getting thirsty. All I need you to bring are love rings, and I know in time I'll be ready. 'Cause I've been waiting, 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 waiting on you in my white boots. Yeah. I'll be ready. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 yeah. My white boots. So get your white tux, your new shoes, and baby don't go getting them dusty.
All right, let's dive into the second question. It's beginning to get more interesting, I promise you. So the second question says, what if my partner is impotent? How can I know before marriage? I'm sure you have an opinion about this, but please hold it. Let's hear from the public and then we'll come back to you.
What if your partner is impotent? How can you know before your marriage?
Because from his behavior, you will know.
So if he's impotent, there's a certain type of way he will behave.
Yeah. He surely shows that he will not show interest in it. Yeah. He will not show interest. In case he's gay.
We have to cut things off. I think the relationship will not continue.
Well, we all know that it's only God that knows about the future. We leave everything to His hand. Actually, there's nothing impossible as long as we try. So when we get to the bridge, I think you can cross it then. And when you have faith, the Lord will assist you.
Well, I think there are different medical solutions to impotency, and as long as you are able to support each other, and I think you'll be able to get through it.
That guy that said we have to cut things off, that made me really laugh. I hope he laughed too. Let's hear from Kevin and Joy. Let's have Kevin first this time around.
Well, those are entirely not strange to me. When you ask if your partner is impotent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, love for me will not be centered around all of those. It may not be. May. I'm careful of the usage of the word may. Yeah, so love for me may not be centered around all of those. So if I discover in the marriage, that means I probably missed out in the process of maybe before marriage, during dating, I was unable to ask those important questions. And you see, that explains why you need to ask the important questions during dating. So if I left out that part of not asking, getting to find out, it will be painful. Yeah, that will be my reaction. I can't tell you it won't be painful. But I'd want to have a love that will, progressively grow, deeply and intimate, where you understand to ask important questions. You know what to do at what point in time. You know what you're passionate about, what you're learning about, and subsequently, the person you're into that relationship values what you value. So those are things that you want to ask. Like, okay, so if you want to know how is it for me, okay, I'm this, my crazy past. Those are things that I should ask. But if I just upon finding out, man, it's going to cause a lot of disbalance in the marriage, in the event that we get married before finding out. Okay. But if it's in the relationship, I think it's fine. It's something we could seek help. And
okay. Yeah. So the question really talks about how one can know if their partner is impotent before marriage, and it's still all tilting to, okay, many people might think that they need to have sex before marriage so that at least they'll be able to test and know if this person is impotent or not. What do you think about that?
Oh wow. Okay. I have a science upbringing, and then you see the concept about finding out has different methods, from your gathering, your observation, your asking intelligent questions, hypotheses, and all of that. Yeah. So if you want to bring that into perspective, to find out if your partner is impotent, how would you know when you don't ask? So that would be one of the things for me. So asking during courtship is integral for me. It's one way to find out. And sometimes your practical is not, because you are trying to test poison, we will tell you that it's not as if you must be the one to test the poison to find out that, okay, this is poison. So there are things, okay, so people that are experienced, or you use other analysis, you get other analysis that have been established by people, and then they will tell you. But that will not necessarily mean you testing, as my generation will want to, or a lot of persons will think, okay, we really have to test to find out and all of this. You can draw conclusions from research and work of other people to find out that, okay, this is it for me, and then you can know where to take your decision and your stance.
Really profound, Kevin. Thank you. So let's hear from Joy. What's your take about this?
I think apart from asking questions, there are medical tests you go for, like before entering into marriage. Like if I'm in a relationship with you, I don't just jump and get some people can lie. They're like, I'm fit, I'm okay. Yes. So once you finally get married, you know that something is wrong in the corner. But the thing is, now in our generation now, everything is changing. So the thing is, you need to go for test. Okay, and know who you are getting married to. Now, some people in the public opinion side were saying something like impotency, and I think where they are coming from, it's in the relationship angle and not in the marriage angle. Now you are tensing, you are trying to test if the man is potent enough to what? To get you pregnant in relationship or what exactly? So I think it's this thing is actually broad. So I feel it all bounces back to what? The word of God. It all bounces back to the word of God. Let's be deep. Once you are deeply rooted in the word of God, you know where you're going to. God speaks to you. You start having conversations with God and all that you get. So I don't feel I need to, because all these questions, they're just looking for valid reason why they should have sex.
Right.
Because everybody is trying to normalize sex. That's just it. So people are just trying to bring out reasons and all that you get. just reasons to have sex with
Before
either
marriage.
their fiancé and all that.
Yeah.
And I think that's seriously not ethical, not biblical,
Yeah.
not even funny anyways. So I think you will know if you follow the voice of God. If you are with God, you will surely know. God has spoken to a lot of people. I remember my daddy said when he saw his wife, God said, "This is the wife." He told him how many children he was going to have and all that. Okay, let me stop coming from the revelational side now. Let's talk about the world normally. Please, let's go for tests. Let's know. And if you test and realize that the person is not able to do something after marriage, then it is now your agreement. The two cannot work together except they agree. So if you are now agreeing that yes, it's fine, no, let's still get married, we are going to do two till death, it's fine.
Wow.
It's fine.
Okay.
So it's depending on your own agreement. And you know agreement is agreement. Don't come and change your mouth later.
Right.
So that's how it is actually. So
So it all boils down to the fact that if it is true love, it will wait until marriage before sex. The fact that you want to test for impotency or you have some doubts about it does not still give you the yardstick to go ahead and have sex. It's a valid reason, but not valid enough to go ahead and have sex before marriage.
Sorry, I have a question too.
Okay.
So are you saying those questions should not be asked in relationship? Because from most of the things we heard, right, you could hear some of them asking and saying, well, it's what people believe. And some of the answers we got, some of them said, this is my belief. We had people from different faiths also giving their concept and idea about what they think about some of those things. Yeah. So I'd want a scenario where it grows from the point where it's outside what you believe. It's resonate with, this is my personality. This is, because sometimes these things are what we think we are taught, and then what you think you're taught might not be what you're practically applying to your life.
Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes it's what you're taught. How practical is it to your life? So those are some of the key concepts I think a lot of young people grapple with. They feel it is a cake, and parents as well, they don't get to discuss most of this with their children. So the children are looking out for answers from friends and other persons that are inexperienced, and only God knows. So the concept is just knowing who loves you, and like I said, what the person value, you value. So aside that relationship, what's your foundational knowledge about love? And if you're asking about sexuality, to what end and at what point?
Yeah. But I think it's really, really important for people to be able to trash that or before getting married. You should be comfortable with your partner enough to be able to ask such deep questions. Are you only going out on dates to eat shawarma and popcorn? Like, what are you people discussing in relationship?
It is good. I would like to eat shawarma.
Yeah, but let's talk about deeper issues. I don't want to get into a marriage and I'm surprised that I need to find out everything that needs to be known before we get into it.
I agree.
Dear Christian singles, let me tell you my story before you mingle. I know you have thought flooding through your heart, a lot happening before your eyes, and you are wondering if you are fine. I see how you tell yourself, oh, sex is good, I'm human too, oh please, I'm not a fool. I see how you tell yourself, oh, it's not for a full day, but it's just for a few minutes. I see how you've made it a chase, even when you know it's not chased, and when you don't get to have a taste, the feeling all becomes a waste. But I was once like you, among my ungodly peers, looking for an identity. I wanted to be the baddest, craving for popularity. I wanted more than just a taste, and so I was seeking for all the gratifying until I lost Jesus, my topmost priority. I thought I was in love, but hey, I was lost in lust. My physical body wanting more, my inner feeling set on fire. Oh, this cause for fun. Sex became my desire and passion. I wore it like a cloth, it became my new fashion. I danced to it rhythm, it became my fantasy novel. I gave ease to it reading, it rocked my body non-stop. And every evening I would cry, oh, I wanted a full stop. But it will yell at me and said, hey, there's no backing out, because this is where my foot stops. I am afflicted, oh, I am addicted. Does anyone see me? Does anyone feel me? I kept drowning with no hope for rescue. But one day in my dark room, a bright light shone on me. A voice called out to me, I am Jesus, he said. He embraced me when all I ever did was to erase him. He took away my flaws even though I broke the laws. He came to reform me from my every deform, and he called me victorious and not a victim. And from that moment on, I realized that sex is good, but outside marriage, it is fornication. Sex is a holy communion, but outside marriage is an unworthy companion. Sex is not just about emptying a tank of pressure. It was meant to give pleasure created by the Father. But hey, don't go further. It has a time. It's not meant for toddlers. Return to Jesus, the one who gives joy and laughter beyond just the sex. Hey, don't do it. Because the world awaits for your manifestation, and even though I know sex is good, but I think it's time to delay gratification.
Alright, so we are moving on to the third question, which says, what if my partner has a crazy sexual past and I don't know? How do we handle it? Can't I test? Well, again, we are going to hear from the public opinion, and then we'll come back to my friends in the studio.
I think those kind of things you should ask your partner at least a couple of times, and then you should find out early enough. And I don't know, I think there should be a third party for this kind of things. Maybe someone both of you look up to, and then the person can judge the situation.
I will try to maybe seek help because it's deeper than we think.
It depends on what you refer as crazy. Is it like a mental problem? Does he need to talk to somebody? Does he need like mental health evaluation, to see someone to help him, a therapist? Or is this something that can be handled with prayer? Do you understand? Is this something that he needs to work on himself, to discipline himself, to have self-control? It depends on which angle you're looking at it from.
So you are totally comfortable with it if it have happened in the past?
I mean, we all have our past,
okay,
but it depends on if he wants to work on himself. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because we have to be compatible sexually.
Okay.
I cannot have someone, wanting sex all the time when maybe I do not want it. So we'll have to talk about it and be compatible.
It's not actually proper for one to judge people based on their past, as long as they've, should I say, repented and have a changed lifestyle.
Okay.
I think you can forgive certain things and just move on.
And move on with life.
Yes.
I don't know. Until then, maybe I'll know what to do. And then it depends on how she relates it to me.
Some of those reactions were really funny to me, and some of them, made a lot of sense. I don't know if they made sense to any of my friends, but let's find out. Okay, Joy, do you have anything to say?
I love the lady that said, you don't need to judge your partner by their past. Well, everybody have their past. That's why the past is called a past. Okay. So I think if the person still dwells in his past, then I think you should move on and leave that person. As for me, I'm of that opinion.
Okay.
But if the person sees his past as a past, okay, and is now a new person, now all things are passed away, and is working towards becoming a new person every day. It's a progressive thing. You don't just say you're a changed person and that's just it. Okay, so I feel if he has he or she has a crazy past, sexual past, and you don't, it's not something to be intimidated about. It is just something you should understand
and talk about.
Talk about things. Actually, someone says communication is the lifeblood of every relationship. I will not get to know your past without you telling me. So you still have to tell me. I will not go and start asking people like the way they do in those ancient times. Who is this girl? How many guys have you seen her with? No, you have to be the one to tell me now. Okay? Tell me how your how has it been going, and how did you regret it, and how you're changing. And if really you're changing, I should see it.
Yeah.
Yes, I should be able to see it. And for me, I think you shouldn't judge somebody. And they said there's a part of the question that said, don't you think I need to test or something like that? You need to test what? The crazy
Exactly.
aspect,
How
or
we
what?
test
You want
it
to
to
be
find
crazy
out.
again? There's no need. I don't think there is a need to test the crazy aspect.
True.
Please, you guys are not getting married to be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That is just it. So I don't think there is any need to test the crazy. Just leave. Let it. It is a past. Thank God they said a crazy past. So leave it. Let it be crazy over there in the past.
In the past.
Okay. So that's just what
All
I feel.
right. Kevin, what do you have to say about that?
The comments were insightful. Some of the comments, and from you see, this idea of coming from a past where you're looking at people and saying, this guy is having a crazy past, what would you do? Okay, so let me share an experience. Growing up, you know, I've had this concept of all these ladies or all these guys that I'm seeing are having all of these crazy things. Why do I feel like they are free? Sometimes I just feel like those people are free. Like they are alive, nobody questions them and they do what they want to do. But it was not a life I wanted to live. But I sometimes like the fact that they were free in the society, and you know, so I had it was a misunderstanding for me. And I remember one time walking to my mom, I said, me, I would like to marry anybody that is. There was this auntie around then that she was living alone. You know, she just comes, she does her makeup, then she puts her things and she goes and she's everywhere, everybody. People are complaining about her. And I told my mom, I said, if I must marry, this is the kind of person I want to marry.
Wow. Why?
I was very little. And I said that, and my mom was like, let your father hear you. So, you know, sometimes we look at how free, we think these guys are free, and we want to express. For me as a child growing up, I felt I just wanted that freedom that they were having.
Exactly.
Not necessarily the life, but I felt they were free to do whatever thing that they were doing, even when people were saying things. And that would be likely because I was reserved growing up. You know, I mind my business a lot, and that would be probably because I don't want to get into people's way, and so I maintained all of that. So if somebody has a crazy past, I'm thinking, okay, I struggle with it even up till now. Like, I'm feeling it's okay for me to, if somebody has a crazy past, I don't have problem relating. I actually can marry someone who has a crazy past. If of course it will lead to marriage, but some of these things you never can see until
right.
Yeah,
like the people
married.
who said when we get to the bridge.
Okay,
we'll cross it.
Sorry, I'm thinking in this angle. Why if, okay, perhaps as you were talking, like something just clicked. Why if the craziness decide to resurrect
in the marriage?
In the marriage.
Okay.
What do you do?
That's another angle to it.
What do you do?
Well,
okay, so,
if they say it's in the past, I want to believe that past is sincerely past. But okay, you wanted to say something, Kevin.
Okay, so of course I'll ask questions because we are in the relationship. If it decides to resurrect, the questions I'll be asking, is he resurrecting because of me? Okay, you are saying in marriage.
In marriage, not in relationship. Maybe before you got married to the person is changed. He's now brother Kunle. And after you got married to him, after 5 years, 6 years, and it resurrects, he now has urge of doing crazy things and start going out and all that. So what do you do at that point? Because I think this question just clicked. I think it's happening. There is tendency that such things can happen. So I think we should tackle this one too.
Okay, so if it's a relapse for me, you consider it as one of those incidents, because I would want to believe that we're not perfect beings. If it's a relapse and it's something that can be worked on, yes. But then, if it's consistent, then we'll have to see somebody to talk to. We'll have to. Because at that ground, we'll be having a lot of disagreements, and we never know, and we don't want that in marriage, right? But if it's a relapse, yes, we can talk about it. I honestly will explore that option if it's a relapse.
Okay.
But you can't tell me you are changed and if it's coming up, then that is not change.
Actually.
Change is growth from where you were yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, when you progressively grow. Yeah, so.
And I also feel like people can see pattern of growth over time.
Yes,
like if you said you've changed, your lifestyle should show for it. There are several things around your life that will show for it. And if we have been true to one another, we've been talking about things, I should be able to see other areas of your life that agree with that change that you have talked about. So we can't completely be deceived into going into it and then you're bringing up. That means there was no change in the first place. Yeah.
My name is Funta Iboyi and I am married to
me.
His name is Akiade Iboyi and we both married as virgin.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is my wife.
I just said I was married to.
And I'm her husband. And like you said, we both married as virgins, where we advocate sexual purity before and after marriage. So that's like sexual abstinence before marriage, then going on sexual purity, which means that you're exclusive to your husband or exclusive to your wife. But focus right now is on sexual abstinence before marriage. So we advocate virginity before marriage because that's what the Bible says. You know, that's how we lived our lives as young people, as teenagers, as young youth, young adults, you know, and that's what we advocate that you do as well as young people.
Yeah, so we stand for sexual purity before marriage.
And I'd like you to make the most of this time because you need it in the days and the years ahead. Grab every knowledge, every experience of God that you can get now, because that really is what makes a great destiny eventually. Don't get it twisted. Don't be too attracted to the razzmatazz on the outside. You know, not everything that glitters is gold, right? What you're getting now is what really matters. And in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, you thank God that you are where you are now. So make the most of this time, and God bless Pastor Timmy for putting this together for you guys. All right? It's Giz Baba. You want to sign out?
Yeah, okay, yeah. So I'll just basically say that it's basically about being pure and maintaining your purity, because virginity is a byproduct of purity, and God is more concerned about our purity, which is the state of our hearts rather than the state of our hymen. So of course there will be some of you who have probably lost your virginity due to sexual abuse or any other way, but the most important thing is to remain pure in your heart, and then by then you can live a pure life as a virgin even before marriage.
Alright, yeah, so our message to you is that your destiny
is in your
hands, so you can stay sexually pure.
You
should stay sexually pure. Whether or not as we speak you are still a virgin or not, decide that from now on you will be sexually pure.
Yep. Thank you.
Stolen water sweet oh, it is sweet to drink oh. You go drink to clean mouth oh, thinking nobody go know. Now so it be oh, with a side piece oh, pretty with hips to kill oh. Like say nothing fi sweet pass out. Mako by me oh, because I know fit oh. If I fall for this oh, wahala go there. Even if not immediately oh, or suddenly oh, but eventually oh, my thing go be. This is an emergency, but best service on speedily. I'll be foolish to think I can handle it. Blood
my body, oh. This is an emergency. Put your best accordingly. No go they think you can handle it. It's all over Bruce Lee. David fought many battles in his life, but none of them was in his own house. Then he go carry who no be in wife. All of a sudden, small, oh, family scatter. I'm not a tama, rape matter. Absalom kill Amnon, kill him brother, run away. Then he return, oh, they drag throne with daddy, wage war with daddy. Chaos for fun. This is an emergency. Oh, best episode. Speedily. I'll be foolish to think I can handle it. Blood in my body. Oh, my body. This is an emergency. Oh, the best episode. Accordingly. No go they think you can handle it. It's all over Bruce Lee. Body no be firewood. Oh, make you no go near fire. Even if you there for choir. Body no be firewood. Oh. This is an emergency. Best episode. Speedily. I'll be foolish to think I can handle it. Blood in my body. Oh. This is an emergency. Best episode. Accordingly. No go they think you can handle it. It's all over Bruce Lee. This is an emergency. Best episode. Speedily. I'll be foolish to think I can handle it. Blood in my body. This is an emergency. The best episode. Accordingly. No go they think you can handle it. It's all over Bruce Lee.
So I have the last question here with me, and I think we just talk about it in the studio. It says, how can I know if we are sexually compatible without having sex? Deep, right?
Very deep, actually.
Okay. What are your thoughts?
You will know that you're sexually compatible.
Okay.
Okay. And I don't know why people are bothered about the sexual aspect. You're not even bothered about, okay, the aspect of the friendship and all that. You're not people are just in code sexual compatibility. There are other forms of compatibility,
right?
Actually, so you will know that if you know if you're sexual compatible. How will you know? Not by having sex, actually. Sorry, I love going back to the Bible.
Okay. Because
the Lord will reveal everything to you. The Lord will reveal everything to you. If you are the right person for me, I don't need to be bothered. There are things you don't need. Okay, I was reading a book by Joyce Meyer. She said, now her problem with people is they try to figure out everything. Am I going to be sexually compatible? Am I going to give birth when am I going to? And at the end of the day, all those questions you are asking come to actualize. Right. Yes, you are saying it in your mind. At times you think out loud and all that. And they are working in obedience to whatsoever you are planning for yourself. So I think we just have to be positive. Stay positive. Pray. Once God shows you this is the person for you, you don't need to bother. Now the Lord said, the Bible says, my plan for you is of good and not of evil. Yeah. So you think God is going to, if God is showing you this is your right person now, you think it's not good enough for you, or what? Are you trying to tell us that God does not know what he's doing? If God tells you this is your right person, I feel you'll be compatible with that person in every angle. Conversational angle, sexual angle, whatsoever, raising children angle. This thing is broad. It's not all about, you get it. So I feel it's also bounds back to to knowing the right person from the voice of God.
Okay.
Actually, so that is just it.
Yeah, for me, I think this question would typically come from people who have had a sexual history. Because what do you mean you are trying to know if it is compatible? What do you know about compatibility? It
That
means
is
you
it.
are trying to measure one thing against
Yes,
another.
yes.
Because if you've never had sex before, what is your definition of compatibility?
Exactly.
So, like, what are you using? What's the yardstick that you're
True.
using to it means
Yeah.
you have a sexual history and you're trying to test, okay, maybe person A is
Yes.
he or she as good as person B. But if you've been working on keeping yourself pure, if you've been working on waiting until marriage, I don't really think that should
You won't be bothered
something.
at all.
Yeah,
You
because
won't.
you find out in marriage and you don't even have anything to compare with, so it is just good for you without anything to compare
Yes,
with.
true.
Abi, Kevin, what do you think?
Well, this is good. From what she said and what the views I got. While we talked about the fact that all of this you have to know, and then there people are asking questions. Let's not shut down the part where people are beginning to ask questions, because those are things that matter to them. And like you said,
Yeah,
they need
it's
help.
important,
Yeah. So
yeah.
when somebody says, okay, how will I agree with you. Because even that law symbol where you see the woman is like this, her eyes is blinded.
Yeah.
They are weighing it against something, right? So when you talk about these things, you see, the fact that there is that revelational part of it, where you get to be revealed that, oh, this is the person for you, right?
Yeah.
And she also talks about the fact that people are asking so many questions, and we must be careful about the things we say, because they form a part of who we are. And that is the point where we talk about, aside the revelational part of scriptures, there is a creating part when we say certain things and they begin to form like a part of our DNA. So when you keep saying, you're like, okay, I'm a man, I should have this. A woman should be able to offer me sex before we get married. I don't want to discover in marriage. So you keep creating all of these things. Yeah, so sometimes just take a chill pill and relax.
Right.
Trust
Just trust God.
Allow God do the magic.
Yeah.
Trust the process. You know.
Yeah.
But ask important questions.
Yes, it's important
yeah.
to ask questions. All right, so I believe you agree with us that a common thing that we have been saying and emphasizing since this show began is that true love can wait until marriage before sex happens. There is really no valid reason as to why you should go ahead and have sex. Some people is today that they are going to start forming their crazy sexual history. Please don't be one of them. Get yourself some flowers. Take yourself out. Enjoy time with your friends, with your lover. You don't have to do anything crazy. If it's true love, you can tell them that it can wait. Sex can wait until marriage. And we hope you have a very beautiful one today.
One day a son goes to his father and says, "Father, what is the value of my life?" And the father gives him the stone and says, "Son, if you want to know the value of your life, take this stone and go to the market. And if anyone asks the price, don't say a word and raise up 2 fingers." So the boy does as his father says and goes to the market. He wanders around, and suddenly an old woman approaches him and says, "How much is this stone?" The boy doesn't say a word, just raises up 2 fingers. And the woman says, $2? I'll take it. The son is surprised and runs back to his father. He says, "Father, there was an old woman at the market. She wanted to give me $2 for the stone." And the father says, "Son, the next place I want you to go is to the museum. And if anyone asks the price, don't say a word and raise up 2 fingers." So the son takes the stone and goes to the museum. After about 20 minutes, there is a middle-aged man in a suit who approaches the boy. He says, "Sir, how much is this stone?" The boy doesn't say a word and raises up 2 fingers. And the man says, $200? I'll take it. The boy is surprised and runs home to his father. Father, a man in the museum wanted to buy the stone for $200. Okay, son. The last place I want you to take the stone is a precious stone store. Walk inside with the stone, and if anyone asks the price, don't say a word, just raise up 2 fingers. So the son runs off into the precious stone store. After finding it, he walks inside and there is an old man at the counter. And as the old man sees the stone, he jumps up and screams, "Oh my God, you have the stone I've been looking for my whole life. What do you want for it? How much is it?" The boy doesn't say a word and raises up 2 fingers. And the old man says, $200,000? I'll take it. The boy can't believe it. He jumps up and runs to his father. He says, "Father, father, the old man at the precious stone store wanted to give me $200,000 for the stone." You see, son, you understand now the value of your life? Life is all about where you place yourself. You can decide if you want to be a $2 stone or a $200,000 stone. There are some people who love you and for whom you are everything. And some people will just use you as a commodity, and for them you will be worth nothing. So it is upon you, my son, to decide the value of your life.
We invite you to make a pledge to remain chaste and commit to abstaining from sexual activity until marriage. If this is something you would like to do, you can repeat this pledge after me. Believing that true love waits, I make a commitment to God, myself, my family, my friends, my future mate, and my future children to a lifetime of purity, including sexual abstinence, from this day until the day I enter a biblical marriage relationship. If you just said that pledge and will need someone to mentor or keep you accountable, please follow the link on your screen and someone will be in touch with you.